Welcome to part 2, putting your KeyNote videos that you did a screen recording of into iMovie. So the first thing we're going to do is select the video clips from our photos and airdrop those to your MacBook. I like to use iMovie on my computer versus the iPad just because I find it's easier to navigate and there's a few more features, but you can do this on your iPad as well if you prefer it that way. So I'm done with my iPad though at this point, and I'm going to take that and set it aside. Okay, so the videos that I airdropped are in my download folder. I want to remember that for when I'm importing them in iMovie. So I'm going to open up iMovie. So here in Create New, I'm going to tap on the plus sign and choose Movie. And by default, it should take you to your media screen where we need to import media. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on that down arrow, and it takes me to my desktop or whatever your default folder is. I'm going to go to the home that says my name and go down to downloads. And these are the 4 video clips that I just airdropped to myself, and I can double check that by when I recorded them over here. So I'm going to select all 4 and import selected. So now I've got them here and they go in the order that they were created, which is nice. I like to start though, before I even drag these down to, think of this like your film strip bar at the bottom. I like to start with just an opening scene that's like just a slide that you tell the kids or whoever your viewer is what it is that they're going to be watching. So I'm going to choose organic and I'm going to click it and then drag it down into my camera roll down here or my film strip. If I were to play this, all it is the background. It doesn't have any text or anything on that. So I'm going to add text by going to titles. And you can see there's a lot of different options here. I'm going to choose, let's go with something a little creative. I'll use this one here. It says Pixie Dust. And I can just slowly move my mouse over it to see what we'll do when it's in play mode. I'm going to click and drag that down on top of the background that I already put in there. And now if I click on that title that I added, the outline turns yellow and now I can edit it. So I'm going to, over here in my preview box, I'm going to double tap where it says title and I'm going to put using models to add fractions. And that's a little bit hard to see, so I'm actually going to change the color of it by double clicking on it, going to the color box, and move this so you can see it a little bit better. And actually, I'm going to change it to black. And now I can preview it if I want, just to see how that looks. And that's good, that's easy to see. Now, I like the transitions that they build in here in iMovie. We already have transitions built into our KeyNote, so you don't feel like you have to use these, but I'm just going to use one just to make it go from this title screen over to the video clips. So I'm going to use Cube, drag it over here, and put it at the end of my intro screen. I want my intro screen to be exactly 4 seconds. So I'm going to click and drag and pull this out just to make sure people have time to read it. And the time is actually showing up above here. So right now it's 3 seconds and 28 milliseconds. So I'm going to drag that out to 4. So after 4 seconds, the title screen will stop, it will transition, and now I can put some of my media clips in here. So up at the top, I'm going to go back to my media, and I'm going to take the first clip that I recorded on my iPad and drag it down into my film strip. And I actually want it to start here. So if I stop and click on the very edge of my media clip, if I click it and drag it over, I'm trimming it so that that very beginning part doesn't show in my movie. So I'm going to click over here somewhere in my title and play just to see how that looks, make sure I got the timing of that correct. Perfect. Now, one thing I have found to be helpful is up here at the top, you'll notice right now there's a crop symbol that's in blue. If I tap on that, right now it's cropping to fill the screen in the iMovie format. I can choose fit, in which case it would have some black bars on the outside, but if you use all of your KeyNote screen, you may want to choose fit so that the top and the bottom don't get cropped off. Another thing that I like to do is tap on this magic wand over here, and it automatically will improve like the video as well as the audio. And usually I find that I need that because I'm either too loud or too quiet, and it adjusts it pretty nicely. If you still find that your audio is too loud, you can go up to the volume button here and you can adjust it. You can see it's already blue for auto because we used our magic wand, but you can take it down so that it's quieter, or you can bring it up so the volume is actually louder. Next, I'm going to go to the end of my first media clip and I'm going to insert my second media clip. I want to play both the end of clip 1 and the beginning of clip 2 so that I can trim them and they will line up seamlessly. So I'm going to click and drag this over until that goes away. And I could tell I stopped speaking here, so let's see where I stopped and what I was saying and see if it transitions smoothly.
Solve this problem any way you choose. While we're going through this, I want you to think about the essential question.
Actually, that lined up pretty good. Now, I can also put this in full screen mode and hop back and forth.
Which is, how can I use tools like
to see how it looks? I usually rely on that little window until I am all done, and then I look at it in big full screen mode. So I'm going to hit exit or escape to get out of that full screen and go to the end of clip 2 that I added. And again, it looks like I stopped somewhere after my second slide where I was drawing the number line. So I'm going to add my third clip, and I want to see where I pick up on the third clip so that I know what to trim off of the second clip. Another trick, if you have a lot you need to crop off, another trick you can use is go to that place and you can actually split your video and then delete it. So let's just start from here and see what we have. I'm actually going to take this spot, my yellow line, and when I go away from it, it stays as a white thin line. I'm going to go up here to modify and I'm going to split my clip. That means I'm making 2 separate clips out of that second one I had added. I know I don't want any of this where the animation of the drawing was too quick. So I'm going to highlight it so it's in yellow, and I'm going to delete it using the delete on my keyboard. So I'm going to go all the way to the end of the third clip that I added, and you can see that includes my Pearson video that I did a screen capture of. And it looks like I really screen recorded way too long, so I know I don't need any of this where I can see all of the slides and my editing. So I'm going to go to where I see that starts, and I'm going to put my cursor in there, that yellow line, go back up here to modify and split my clip and delete the part I know I don't need. So let's add the fourth and final clip and see where I need to chop off on clip 3 to make this one work even better. So I'm going to slowly click and drag my cursor to the left until I see it go away. The slower you go, the more you can see almost like a screen by screen. Think of it like a stop motion and where you want to pick up. And it looks like that was my final clip. So now I just need to go to the end and possibly trim off where it goes back into the edit mode here of KeyNote so I can get rid of the portion here where I can see all my slides. So I'm going to just click and drag because it's not that much. So again, I'm clicking, dragging to the left, and I'm trimming that video clip there. There we go. So it looks like that's the last spot that I spoke. So let's take a look at that final couple of seconds of the video. So now I can use one of my transitions and fade it out to white, fade it to black. I could add another background if I wanted to add another like title screen where it said, again, good job, or what they should do next if that wasn't part of your KeyNote. I usually like to just fade to black. And so that's going to be the last second of the movie. So now here, and that might be hard to see, but I've got 3 minutes and 28 seconds of a video lesson. And at this point, I can do a couple things. I can export it as a file, or I could upload it right to YouTube, to Vimeo. I'm going to do a file because I'm actually going to take it one step further for you in part 3 and show you how I then use this video file to post it as an ed puzzle for the students to interact with. So I'm going to start it on File, change the name of this to Using Models to Add Fractions. And then I like to put in my video description. Now, I am just downloading this as a file right now. If I were uploading it to YouTube, that would be maybe more important, as well as any tags that I have in here. But you can also search for this stuff when you are searching for videos or files on your computer. So I like to add as much detail as I can. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Everything else I leave the same. I like to use a resolution of 720p. 180p is overkill for the kids watching this on an iPad. 540 is too blurry, so 720 is perfect. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit next. And I will see you guys if you'd like to join me for step 3 using this video then in Edpuzzle.